Hi everyone, my name is Jacob and this is lesson 2 of the Performing Under Pressure program, and the lesson 2 is on sleep. Sleep is something that in the business world in the last couple of years has been much more attention to the importance of sleep and how we're not actually very good at honoring it. I think, being able to have your email in the palm of your hand and have accessibility to everyone most of the time is just a very valuable thing, but also can be a somewhat destructive thing. And it's kind of affected our patterns. Obviously, this started all the way back to the time we got electricity. And so we didn't follow the circadian rhythm as much anymore. And fortunately, in the last couple of years, there's become much more attention to the importance of actually following your circadian rhythm, and also to just have, an infrastructure in a life where you can get good sleep, because it affects your performance and it affects your mental health, and in general, it's just probably the most important thing that we can get right. If you don't get sleep right, everything else becomes more difficult. And so I've learned this the hard way. I've tried everything from having a half year of insomnia to just in general sleepless nights due to pain or due to being under too much work pressure and so on and so forth. And I think over the years, as I've talked to many of my friends and colleagues and so on and so forth, it's become evident that this is something that quite a lot of people suffer from. And so we need to figure out how to get sleep right. And it's one of the key things that we should worry about. So some of the things that I've learned, I think it ties into a lot of the traditional advice that many people hear these days. So don't have screens 1 hour before. The sleep you get before 11 a.m. Or 11 p.m. is better than the sleep you get after midnight, stuff like that. But I think that one of the most important things that I've learned to get my sleep right, besides the light thing, that we don't have the screens, so we turn down the lights about 1.5 hours before. The most important thing I've learned is to have a proper sleep routine or a night routine. So for me, the night routine it consists of cleaning out my apartment. So I feel like if I've tidied everything up before I go to bed, I feel more at ease. I have an overview of things and I'm better prepared for the next day. Also, knowing what's going to happen the next day can put me more at ease. So I feel like I'm a little bit more in control. But then more importantly, I have a few things that I go through before I go to bed. I have some gadgets that I use to reduce pain in my leg. But then I also read a novel most of the time, because reading a novel kind of like takes my brain away from whatever activity that's been going on all day, and just, helps me relax and calm down. But 3 things that I want to share with you that saved me in general around this topic of sleep is if I have difficulty falling asleep, I focus on the sensations around my nose. So kind of like focusing on the breathing as it goes in and out of the nose. And then I sense kind of like the sensations on the inside and the outside of the nose and concentrate on that focus. When I do that, I help 2 things happen. So 1, I become attentive to my body, which helps me become way more present in the moment and slow everything down and relax. And the second one is I help my brain go away from whatever it's trying to figure out that it shouldn't be trying to figure out now that I'm trying to go to sleep. The second thing that has saved me is to have a simple set of repetitive exercises, or just actually one movement, one exercise that I do. And I do this like if I've been lying in the bed for about 45 minutes trying to fall asleep and I can't, I get up and I do this exercise. It's a little bit the same effect of the nose thing, but it's more active, obviously, and you get the blood flowing. And so The importance of the repetitiveness is that you don't think, you just get the body into a rhythm and you move it. And then when you're moving it slowly, you become more present, you get out of your head. And because it's physical as well, the body starts to relax more. I sometimes combine it with some push-ups if I'm really needing to like kind of tire the body. But otherwise, if you do this exercise for about 7 minutes, you will start to feel tired. 7 minutes is quite a long time. And usually if I manage to do it that long, it really supports me to fall asleep afterwards. The third thing, and I've done this, I did this about already like 7 or 8, 10 years ago. But then it kind of like went away. It's like I got an analog alarm clock. Which allowed me to, instead of using the alarm clock on my mobile phone, I could put my mobile phone in the kitchen, and so I wouldn't have any electronic devices in the bedroom. And so it just made sure that I wasn't actually looking at a screen half an hour to an hour before I went to bed. And it kind of like made me more present. Just like if I don't, like I just dive down into the mobile phone. And so it's just really helpful not to have your mobile phone in the bedroom. And so there's an exercise connected to this topic, sleep, which is what is your own sleep strategy. And so to figure it out, define all of the pre-sleep and in-bed activities that you already do that is kind of like part of the routine you already have, to get an overview of what is actually important of what you're doing right now and what could become a part of like a permanent routine that can help you relax and have a good night's sleep. And then try to define a few things that you will not, that you will really try to make happen every time. And so, for instance, for me, the key thing is this novel. Reading a novel, it makes a big difference. And it could also just like strategy-wise, it might not be something that you do every night. But it might be an arsenal of tools that you can employ if you need it. So for instance, the exercise thing, that's a tool. It might be going for a walk, taking a warm shower, and listening to a certain podcast can also be really supportive. So look at what you're doing, look at what you have done before, and figure out what would actually support you in getting good sleep. And good luck.